Gobble gobble, guys. Welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Hope you all enjoyed your holiday today. We are keeping the Turkey Day tradition alive tonight. We always try to rip some football for Thanksgiving, and as you can see, some canned goods right here of some throwback football. This is 1997 Pinnacle Inside, and thank God this is not cranberry sauce in here. I don't know if you prefer it jellied or whole cranberry. I prefer neither. But we got 4 of these. Picked these up on eBay, featuring some interesting players on these ones. We'll go ahead and check them out. But there's the card design there, and this one has Tony Banks on the front. No, I don't know what it was about 1997, our last throwback football rip. Here's a look at the odds at what can be found in here as well. Silver linings are 1 in 7, 4th and goal 1 in 23. Autographs can be found 1 in 251, and then gridiron gold are 1 in 63. But our last throwback rip was also 97, so we're going to be looking for the same rookies. And like I was saying, I don't know what it was about that year. As we see the Rick Meyer, there's Jeff George on this one. And then the best player of these 4 that I picked up is definitely this guy here, Keyshawn Johnson. Had a very, very good career for the New York Jets, but open with adult supervision. I need an adult, I need an adult, I need an adult. I've got my handy-dandy trusty can opener here. Looks like we're gonna get our way out of another jam. Good old Rusty here. I don't remember if it's easier to go from the top or the bottom, so we'll try both on these. I'll go with the top on that, leave a little bit there so I can just kind of bend it up. We'll try the bottom on this, and then we'll finish the rest off depending on which is easier. We have the previously done 98 Pinnacle Inside Baseball, so not the first canned cards we've seen. But yeah, 97 Score was our last throwback football rip, which was also a tin of cards, so I don't know why they were obsessed with putting cards in metal in 1997. The bottoms are definitely much smoother to open on these, so that's what we'll finish off with. But we do have some decent rookies as that one slips away. Things were going smoothly until then. Some decent rookies to be on the lookout for, pretty much exactly the same as when we did 97 Score. I think that was a couple of months ago. But there's a couple Hall of Famers I'll be looking to add to my Hall of Fame rookie collection. A couple of them are offensive linemen. You've got Orlando Pace and then Walter Jones, Seahawks Hall of Famer. And also Tony Gonzalez is going to be the biggest name. And then also some other guys who had some pretty good careers. Aren't Hall of Famers though, like Tiki Barber. You got Jake Plummer coming out of here. Antoine Smith as we get a look at our first pack. Looks like we've got some propaganda on the back. You can also find Warwick Dunn in here as well. Sean Springs had a decent career. Peter Boulware, decent career. So we'll see what we come across. Also going to be a look for Barry Sanders for my Barry Sanders collection, and then any Patriots as well. But only 10 cards in each of these, so we're already, I think, almost halfway through the video here and just getting into our first pack. But there's a look at the rookies. That's Riddell Anthony. So they look a little bit different than the other base cards. And then first pack we get the Tiki Barber rookie card. Of course, his brother Rondé is a Hall of Famer. Tiki Barber just under the Hall of Fame threshold, in my opinion. I don't think he'll ever get in, but that's a decent one. And here's the regular old base design. There is Heath Schuler looking depressed and sweaty on the front, and possibly a little angry on the back. Hopefully these aren't going every which direction like some old school upper deck, but there is Jeff Blake, another Riddell Anthony dupes in the first pack, and you only get 10 cards. That's very disappointing. I would have been quite angry getting that as a kid. Wow, take a look at this. 4th and goal out of our very first one, and as we saw on the side of the can, those are not the rarest insert. That would be the autograph cards, but the second rarest thing you can find. So Brett Favre, 4th and goal. Unfortunately, it's Brett Favre, but there's Pat Barnes looking like a High school picture day. Kevin Hardy, Jaguars legendary linebacker. Some of these feel a little thicker than others. There is Brad Johnson, our final one there, and then we've got a couple of propaganda pieces from Pinnacle. Let us know what you think and get a chance to win more Pinnacle cards. I probably should not have shown that phone number, although I would imagine it's no longer in service, so please don't try and call that number. These cans are cool, so I think we might have saw that in the baseball one too. You can send in for your own display to show off your collectible cans. Which I want to say people that collected these but would take the cards out would open them from the bottom so that when they're on display, you know, there's not just that ugly open looking top there. To the very few people that probably collected these, that is. There's Antonio Freeman and then Brett Favre, back-to-back Packers there. Just coming off of their Super Bowl year. And here's Hall of Fame rookie, so not the best one. I'd say that's the Tony Gonzalez. Probably the third best of the three, but Walter Jones, Seahawks legend and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is Vinny Testaverde. Felt like somebody was stuck to the back of him. David LaFleur for the Cowboys. I kind of remember him a little bit. There's Irving Fryer. I definitely remember him, mostly for his Patriots days. Marvin Harrison and Terrell Owens, couple of Hall of Fame receivers back-to-back. And then Musa Muhammad. That's got to be super early in his career. Couldn't quite tell. That's the final one, and then another piece of propaganda for your collectible shelf for your collectible cans. Pack number 3, I would say probably that first one's the best one so far, just because of the 4th and goal Brett Favre. I think that's probably only worth like $1 maybe at most, but still a kind of rare insert, so cool to pull those. There's a Dan Marino, and who knows, maybe we'll come across an autograph. Steve Young, so some Hall of Fame quarterbacks appearing back to back. Another one that felt thicker. Kind of surprised these aren't really stuck together either, considering the amount of gloss that was used on these by Pinnacle. More dupes, another Steve Young. Guess you can't really complain if you're going to get dupes that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Another Jake Reed, second one of those we've seen. And then another Marvin Harrison. Was Terrell Owens? Well, I guess that's it. Marvin Harrison's last. I was going to say, I think Terrell Owens showed up after him in the previous can. Which means Rick Meyer is our final one. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this quick Turkey Day rip. I guess we are keeping it quick for you so that you can get your Turkey Day tryptophan nap in. I basically am having to work surrounded all but around Thanksgiving, so very quick holiday for me, and then back to it again tomorrow. Another Steve Young, 3 of those so far. Looks like we might have a number of duplicates in here. That one let off the last can. There's Jeff George, one of the cover guys. Another Irving Fryer. Another David LaFleur. There's Elvis Gerback. Ricky Dudley. Raiders tight end. No relation to Dudley Do-Right. Anthony Johnson. I do not remember Anthony Johnson at all. And we got Darnell Autry, rookie card. And the final one is Derek Alexander. So no autograph. Of course, those are very hard to come across. I think, what did I say, 1 in 251 cans. So pretty lucky that we did come across that 4th and goal there. And then also a Hall of Fame rookie, the Walter Jones. Did not see the Tony Gonzalez or the Orlando Pace, but 1 out of 3 is not too bad considering only 10 cards per can. We only had 4 cans here, so let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Like I said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I will let you take off now and go take your tryptophan nap. Next week, not sure what we'll be ripping. We like to try and keep it a surprise here every Thursday on the channel, so I guess you'll have to come on back next Thursday night. But until then, have a good one, guys. We'll catch up soon.